What's up, everybody? FSC Trucking. Well, I stopped for a minute over here to get something to eat. I'm in Truck World, not Hubbard, Ohio. Was it Conneaut? I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's the first exit into Ohio once you get out of Pennsylvania on Interstate 90. Looks like I got Orwell with me right here. Orwell, of course, is, if you're new to the channel, my 1984 Peterbilt 362 Cabover. Powered by a 3406B Caterpillar engine. There you go. And then, of course, we got this absolutely ridiculous monstrosity behind us. Oh my God, what is the story behind this thing? Yikes. Well, yesterday was not an easy day for me, but nonetheless, we got it done. So that's just a whole nightmare. But we got her all done. With the help of John over at Adirondack Towing over there in Amsterdam, New York, which is basically where we picked this up at Copart. Took a while to figure this out, but there's a story behind this trailer. I don't know if I can find any newspaper clippings of when it got wrecked, but it's been there for a while. And I'm not trying to brag, but the people at Copart, they did tell me that I'm the 7th driver to come over there to try to pick this thing up, but the first to actually do it. That took a lot of help. And that's obviously the previous video. So go ahead and check that out, because let me tell you, that was an absolute nightmare. It's like, it couldn't have been that hard, right? Yeah, a lot harder than it looked. Just more drama to this trailer than you think. And maybe that trailer is just nothing but drama. But then again, I got it now, so that crap's gonna end real quick. So let me show you what we got. All right, well, as you see, that's how it's riding. So the way it played out is, with all the tires deflated, not removed and set on the drums, we got it down to just under 14 feet to the front. And I think the whole frame, because this is a rollover, it landed on the other side, and it was loaded when it rolled. I think it's twisted. So this side is taller than the other side. So right over here, we're 1311-ish. 1311 and a half, 14. We permitted her for 14, we're good. There's the whole setup. We also permitted for an 8-foot extension off the tail. So that's what we had to do for that. And that's the only way it would fit. We had to also take the blowtorch and break all the bolts out and take the landing legs off. Landing legs are sitting inside. They just took a loader and plopped right inside there. The other thing is, when we loaded it, this was all full of water because the trailer was sank in the mud, nose down, and it sat there for a long time. It collected rainwater. So when we went to hook it up, the wrecker was like, no, thank you. So of course, with the overhang, we had to put the flags on the back. We're really not wide. We didn't exactly get it centered on the front, so the tires are flopped off to the side just a little bit, but ain't nothing really to worry about. The only other thing I had to worry about, because it is a wreck, is when it flipped, this right here. This is why it wasn't a haul away, because the beam for your fifth wheel is busted. Crack right there. The only thing supporting it was up here. And I got one of my chains, lifted it up, hooked the chain to it. That way my chain holds it up should it decide to want to fall down. Now you got to bear in mind here, these things are made to be overweight. So right there, there's your New York State overweight permit. Because these guys run, I don't know what they're permitted to, but they're way over 80. So, and they're still 5-axle truck and trailers, and it was a day cab. But yeah, so here's another thing you got to watch for. You see your scratches. So you're scratching on the side here and here. That's where it hit when it fell over towards us. And it broke your tarping system clean off. So the recovery place that hauled it to Copart, apparently they strapped it down with ratchet straps. And then I don't know if this was this way prior or not, but maybe they put this on there just to keep it from rattling. Looks like it's been there a while. To keep that arm from rattling around. So your tarping system is up there, obviously hauling it backwards. The trouble was also out here, couldn't lower it anymore unless we put her down on the drums. Well, we had to open the door, let the water out, and the handle broke, so I can't close it. So I had to chain the door closed. So we got flat tires, all of them. That chain holds the door closed. This chain gives it downforce because it's empty in the front with some scrap still in the front trying to teeter it. I had to pull this end down. So in the end, pretty light up here, pretty heavy back here. The wrecker showed when it held it up, the nose weighed like 20,000 pounds, which that's not a problem for what we're doing here, but it's definitely, you know, tail heavy for my trailer. So it's just all that really does is contributes to just ride quality issues. It just doesn't ride as smooth and as nice as you would like. It's no Cadillac, but that's how you get it done. So either way, not sure what the whole thing, what the whole trailer by itself weighs. On this empty trailer, it can't be that much. Now granted, these are heavy steel trailers, and you see these all the time over by our yard in Wisconsin, where the scrap yard's hauling them, or actually the trucking company down the block is hauling them in trailers just like this. And I've seen on YouTube, they do weigh a lot also. They got overweight permits and the whole bit. So it's all steel because it does all scrap steel. You're not gonna make a trailer like this out of aluminum. It just ain't gonna hold up. It'll destroy it. Why would you haul the absolute heaviest products and the absolute weakest material? That makes no sense to me at all. That's why these trailers are steel. But they're heavy and they're big. They're made to be overweight, but they're not made to be flipped over, and apparently they're not made to be hauled on a trailer because they are a trailer. So it was either get it done this way or wait for Mother Nature to repossess it, which, you know, anything upstate New York, just like Wisconsin, so much road salt, Mother Nature will repo it soon enough anyway. All right, well with that, we got some progress to make because we are in Ohio and this is considered an oversized load and I'm down at night. So we need to get strolling, get into Indiana. We can finish up in Indiana and figure out. Oh yeah, by the way, this is going to like Minnesota, Brainerd, Minnesota. This is like a little north of, what is it, St. Cloud? Something like that. Yeah, St. Cloud. So this is going up Brainerd, Minnesota. And let me tell you, it's nothing but drama. It wasn't the wrecker guy's fault, it was the guy we got the load off of, and just the weird way he does stuff. And the only reason I took the load is because it paid good. That's it. There's no way I'd put up with that nonsense had it not paid what it paid. And the wrecker driver damn near was like, you know what, I'm out of here. So you definitely got to check out the previous video. Heck, I'm not sure how it's going to edit out. It may even be a two-part video because we had to load it in not one site, but two sites. Yeah, it was drama filled, trust me on that. All right, so with that, let me get going again. I got my lunch eaten, late breakfast, whatever. Let's hammer on it. You don't remember what was said about what happens if you don't make me disappear?
Yeah. We're out of here too, basically.
And not only just you.
The house.
There you go, exactly.
Okay.
You know I recorded that, right?
Yes.
Right.
I had to go for a while.
Yes, and everything that's been happening to you has been happening under duress, and I will prove it in court. Here we are at what was it, 8 something in the morning? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. That's the problem. If I go home, they're winding up in a damn nursing home. Who's going to take care of my father? Who's going to take care of my mother?
Well, no threats were made?
No, nobody threatened me.
Because I understand your side of it with you saying they're always armed, so it's like I understand you saying
no,
I'm going to have mine.
It's not only just always armed. Like literally Christmas 2 years ago, they took my kid.
Yeah.
So it's not like they haven't ever threatened me. This time here, there was no threats. Back in the day, I ain't saying there was or wasn't. I'm just saying that there's a lot of bad blood, and they're a little not straight. They just do weird shit. I mean, I don't know anybody has 15 dogs in the house and think that that's normal, but they do. Whatever. But they're weird people. But we have bad blood. There has been issues in the past. So, and they did take my kid, so, you know, they look at me different, and I look at them different. Now, Matthew did come home to me, and he wound up graduating high school, and he wound up like he planned. But there was a time where I didn't know if he had a future because they were stealing it from him. Since I got here, when Dad got sick, other than one phone call, when Tanya started running her mouth, it wasn't a threat. It was just like, well, you ain't moving to Texas. I'm like, you don't own Texas. I'm like, I'm not from here, but I'm pretty sure Tanya Fortner does not own the entire state of Texas. That I can't rent an apartment in Big Spring or some shit, make sure I'm here to take care of Mom and Dad. I'm like, I know you don't own that shit. And I know you can't bar me off Mom and Dad's house even if you think you own the ground it's parked on.
Yeah. I already cleared out with you guys 2 years ago when I got threatened that one too. Well, I could throw you out of mom's house at any time. Yeah, well, your sheriff says otherwise, so to that. So yeah, like I said, got ugly, but it's not, there was no threats given to me. I certainly didn't threaten them. It's just my dad stirring up the and I didn't know what the hell was coming. And when they weren't calling, I'm like, oh, the cops are damn sure coming.
Alrighty, boys and girls, let's get after it. The goal of this video, I think, today, for the time remains of daylight for filming, is more of the routing, how we do it. Digi-HUD up, Waze, or now we're good to go. Digi-HUD is the speedometer, Waze is the nav app. But I use it for more of, it's crowdsourced, so you know, like where the cops are, obstructions, crap in the road, broke down cars, stuff like that. It's more reliable than Google Maps as far as the crowdsourcing goes. Got my orange juice. Didn't get to grab it this morning, so I'm good to go with that. Excellent. Alright, let's get after it. Interstate 90 and haul ass. I had to take New York 30 south past the thruway and then get on 88, Interstate 88. At that point, the routing was easy. 88 to Binghamton, old US 17 or New York 17, 86 across, Interstate now, 86 across. Run out into Pennsylvania, jump on Interstate 90, stay on Interstate 90. See the point? I don't have to get off anywhere. All the bridges are tall enough to get me under. But then when we start running across 80, just like 90 on the thruway, why is it these toll roads were allowed to charge us extra money and then make the roads smaller and less compatible for bigger interstate loads? So that a simple 14-foot tall load cannot run the interstate. 14 feet is only 6 inches taller than a regular legal load. How is it allowed that a private company, a private entity, can own a road and not bring it up to normal standards of interstate travel? So now we have to run this fugazi route, or run all the way down to Interstate 70, just to cut up and come all the way back up to 80 and 90, to then basically run interstate route all the way the rest of the way. Even Illinois I can run with a big tall load. But why was the Ohio Turnpike allowed to make a substandard interstate for interstate truck travel? So now I have to run back roads around the toll road in some fugazi route that makes no sense, because the toll road wasn't told by the feds that's an interstate road, bring it to interstate standards. Why was that allowed to be? Isn't that more dangerous having all these big loads running back roads than just hauling ass on the interstate with the flow of travel and no stoplights and signs and all the, left turn, right turn, go straight stop, all that crap? I mean, you're going to see, because I'm 6 inches taller than the average truck, I got to take detours off to the detours on this one. But why was that allowed? Another thing that came up to get you guys thinking. So, day before yesterday, the FMCSA, in their infinite wisdom, decided we're going to start our whole system again with speed limiters on trucks. And then they released a statement saying that they were going to be setting trucks at 68 miles an hour. And then the very next day, they're like, oh, never mind. We released that info too early. We might change it on you. So I don't really know how the whole thing with that works, with a public comment period and all of that. But you guys need to look into that and then give them a piece of your mind and let them know what you feel about it. So I'm dead against it. I think trucks ought to be able to run as fast as every other machine on the road. And I don't even run Orwell all that fast. We just need a little bit of less government telling us how to do our business and how to run our trucks. If you want to run slow, have at it. But and I do. It's also because Orwell isn't really capable of going much faster without really over-revving the engine, but that's beside the point. You got a large car, a Rooster Cruiser, and you want to run it where you can legally run it at whatever speed, that's up to you. That ain't up to the government. It's none of their damn business. The government has never, ever, ever been a friend or a partner with trucking in the United States. Ever. I don't think that's ever going to change. So if they ain't going to be a get off on Grafton Road. Sometimes it helps to have the Waze app up just to kind of see it. We got to know it's coming, so. I'm not, see, everybody thinks I'm anti-technology. I'll work with technology if it works with me. I hate technology that works against you. That's the thing. Modern trucks, the truck works against you, where mine, it just does what it's told. You just have to know whether you're hurting your truck. So I guess this is where it's going to get interesting. The lane's narrow. Now granted, I'm not wide, I'm tall. The widest part of me is the flags. And I might have broke a bolt on my back flag on the back of my trailer on one of these cones back there in Cleveland area. Make this pull awful narrow. So I don't know why, but they want us off and back on here at Grafton Road. Maybe for the, when you go over Grafton Road. See, this makes 0 sense. Why? For the width? It was already narrow back there. So what is this? It's the bridge. We go over the bridge. It's not a height thing. So what? Why? To put me in more danger of an accident in an intersection? I mean, think about it. Every intersection, if you could avoid, there's a lot of trucking companies, to give you an example. When Whitmire's routes company trucks, now an owner operator, I can choose whatever route I want. But when they route company trucks, they try hard when it comes to like permit loads or whatever, to keep guys off the back roads, to keep them on the interstates. Trucks passing head on all the time. Much more likelihood of a crash. More intersections, more likelihood of a crash. So if you're looking at it from a company or insurance, the less I have to do this crap, the less likelihood of an accident. So why couldn't I just straight through? Anybody know why? I don't know. But it's all about safety. Sure. Which ass cheek you can kiss too. You know, I gotta admit this too. Anybody notice I'm more aggravated now with this nonsense than I was at all with all the nonsense I dealt with yesterday about getting loaded? But this absolute stupidity. And in the end, they're like, oh, why are you bitching? Well, because if I don't put it out there and let people see, then who would notice any of this, right? If I don't put it out, who's going to talk about it? Who's going to mention it? You know, if I didn't put it out there, would you have known about it? Some do, most wouldn't have, so that's why. Coming into the town of Wakeman, Ohio. I think that's an old railroad bridge right there off to the right. I've been looking at it like a path, like an ATV path or something. So I think that's an old railroad bed that was and isn't. I don't think it's the original road. I guess it could be. But to me, it looked just wide enough to get a railroad there. So I find that curious. Quite interesting. Little historic little town. Look at the buildings to my left right here. 1895 it says. Can you imagine being here in 1895 when that was brand new? I know I say it all the time on the channel, but man, that must be cool. Must be old railroad. See that building on the right there? I definitely used to get serviced by rail back in the day. Get here so I don't blow right by my turnoff, because it's not going to be an exit ramp. It's just going to be a right turn on Ohio Road, State Road 601. Did I say 601? 601. It's going to be a right turn. So I got Waze up, I got Google Maps up with a fixed pin at a business right on that corner. From there I'll be able to follow with my permit routing, which I have put right there on my billboard. That's the directions for Ohio right there, all of that right there. So I have that out handy, watching my route guidance. You don't want to make a mistake. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do, just use your head and think. The problem is, you see all these wires? And none of them are labeled, you know, so it's like, granted, they're all supposed to be over 14 feet, right? So you should be good, but you never know. What happens is ice and snow builds up on them and stretches them over time, and they lean down. I clipped one in Rochester back when I was pulling a reefer years ago. Back when I was leased on with Trail Camp. And I was told to go around the back of the building, and I did, and I had the doors open. And the latches that hooked the door closed caught a wire, like a phone wire. Excuse me. And he yanked, and that wire snapped. It shook all the phone poles. And when all the phone poles shook, it pulled some services out of some houses. And in that section of town, nobody was at work. Everybody was home watching cable TV. So they all came out of their houses when the cable went out, and maybe 4 or 5 of them lost power. And they weren't happy, because what else did I have to do at noon or 1 in the afternoon other than go to work or watch television? So since they were all watching TV, they were all pissed. So I had to deal with that. And the police are like, them wires are supposed to be over 14 feet. You ain't even close to that. Ain't your problem. I'm like, all right. So I had utility companies come around, pick the crap up, and get me out of there. But that got ugly quick, because I felt like I was lone man standing right there in the wrong part of town where no one had a job except me. It was like weird. It was businesses in the front side and residential towards the back, but their loading dock was in the back. Matter of fact, they had this old, I call it a pallet snatcher. It's like a steel jaw that tightens as you pull it. It was old as hell. And I was like, you're just sitting in the corner, they're like, hey, what are you guys doing with that? And they're like, nothing, it's been there for years, you want it? I'm like, hell yeah, threw it in the trailer. I still got it. I still have it. So, same spot. I don't know why I just remember that. The stuff I remember. Yep, pallet snatcher. That thing rode in that Peterbilt for years and years and years. So anyway, my little Google Maps deal shows me got like 4 miles to my turn. And then I'll X that out and I'll follow Waze around because I got the route on my clipboard. Good to go. Little tricks to the trade, but I'd rather not miss my turn and pull down a phone wire. Now, most people, maybe you do, maybe you don't. The high voltage stuff, the real big power, that's the very tall stuff, way up high. See those big tall 3 wires? That's power. I don't know what that next one is down, that single wire. And under stuff, the bottom stuff underneath is communications. Internet, fiber optic, telephone, that kind of thing. The low voltage crap is down bottom, that stuff won't hurt you. That crap up top with 3 wires, that'll get you. Up to Norwalk. Past the town we got to duck around. 1.7 miles. Is our turn. So once we make our right on a 601, turn left on 113, and that's in town. That's like in town. Weird spot you'd think they'd send me, but that's where we're going, right into town. 250 to 113 to 99 to 20. I think there's a railroad bridge in Norwalk they're trying to get us around where we duck under. I think. I'd have to look on Google Maps to see. When I edit this, I'll do that. I'll take a look and see why we're going around this Route 601 deal. 0.7 miles. I think it's not this one. I think it's this one here. Like a traffic circle? Looks like it. Yep, traffic circle. I must have caught that bug from Wisconsin. Yeah, we got so many of these damn traffic circles. In Jersey, I grew up calling them traffic circles. That's what they were called. Now they call them roundabouts in certain sections, so. Just because the sign said I could. And they put that trailer right on that corner, didn't they? On an inside part. Man, they don't even want you overhanging that property line. Wow. Alrighty. I don't know if they can get in trouble for putting that stuff right on that curb like that. There's like an easement you got to give, but I got through, not my problem. I mean, I could have made it wider if I needed to. Alrighty, so the next is .601, turn left on a State Route 113. And then right on a 250. left on 113. So basically follow 113 through. And a left on 99. There's that old railroad grade. Now a walking path. I know I say it all the time, I hate seeing old infrastructure that died, like old railroads. Well, you drive truck, what do you like railroads for? Because railroads and trucking, I don't think directly compete with one another to the point where one can extinct the other. I think if there was factories around here, or industries, or even smaller lumber yards, feed mills, whatever, that were serviced by the railroads, there'd be jobs there. Less reliance on crap from foreign countries. Better economy here for, I mean, I'm an American, so I'm after a better economy for Americans. I know I have subscribers from foreign countries, and that's fine. I really appreciate that. I'm an American patriot. So if you're a driver from a foreign country, and you should be patriotic towards your country and want the best for your country. But I think in the end, everybody can meet in the middle and things go well. If everybody takes care of themselves, there's that happy middle that just never any problems, I feel anyway. I mean, I like American cars, don't get me wrong, but there are some real nice foreign cars, but you like to see American workers making money, making American cars. Well, my truck got made in Mexico, so, and I don't think the Mexican plant's a UAW. So I don't know what they're fussing about. The truck I bought was not union made. It wasn't even American made. Yeah, Japanese trucks are made in South Carolina, USA. We'll figure that one out. Wide, tall truck coming down the road. Well, not wide really, but tall. My flags make me wide. My safety devices make me wider than I actually am. Get that, right? Somebody should clip a construction cone, not with the front flag, the back one on the trailer. It just torqued the spring a little bit, didn't break no bolts. The spring ain't as tight now, but whatever. But yeah, my safety devices make me wide and more likely to hit crap. And I'm not on the interstate, I'm on this little back road instead of the interstate, where it's nice and wide and safe. I cannot emphasize that enough. That is how dumb, for safety. Sure. I know, I said that already. We're going to come rolling into the town of Milan, Ohio. We got pretty scenery at least. Nice, quiet, quaint little towns. All the houses are nice looking. I love that porch right there, man. I'd love to have that right there. Just not so close up and everything, but man, that's a beautiful house. Love those old porches like that, man. That's just a perfect, look at this one right here on the right. That's just a perfect sit on the porch, sip your scotch, smoke a cigar. That's the perfect porch right there, man. On 113 or stay on 113. Cool couple lake boats down there. It's amazing the stuff you see on the side of the road. And literally on the direction says hard left. So it's a left turn, but it's a 90 with a more turn on the end, but they describe it differently. Plenty of room for it. On 99 now, wherever that is, and we follow that down to 20 down the rest of the way. To call the ambulance. The ambulance needs an ambulance. See the weight limit sign? Yet they routed me this way. I'd gotten to a stop first, and I wasn't gonna haggle with him. I was just gonna get going because my lane to my left was open, and if I had waited, I would have had to have traffic potentially back up so I could complete my turn. So it was better to get a short space the ambulance and make my turn. It turned out there was a truck coming, but at least he knew to wait for me to finish my turn. If it had been some ignorant idiot in the car, would have just pulled right up on the line or even way beyond the line. Oh, it's like, reminds me of that guy yesterday when we loaded this truck. I was following the wrecker. That old man, he ran right through that light when was gonna like run right in front of that wrecker. I don't know how well the cameras caught that. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, wow. Yeah, here's that bridge. $31-ton gross. Well, we didn't wind up in the water. Well, it's a good thing because I didn't hold my nose. Remember when you can't jump in the water, you gotta hold your nose. What's that lollipop looking thing on 20? Red lights, cameras, probably red light. Monroeville. Maybe that's what we're trying to get around, not that. Oh, red light camera, traffic laws, photo enforced. I think there was a truck stop just over here on the left. I think so, yeah. Yeah, there's a small truck stop like a Freightliner dealer. Yeah, there's the Freightliner. So yeah, I think there's a railroad bridge. It might not be that, might not have been Norwalk, it might have been Monroeville, where we had to worry about a low bridge. We stay on 20, south side of Toledo, 75, 475 around to the top northwest corner of Toledo, stay on 20, and then you're on 127 down to 6, and at 6, the remainder of the way through to Indiana. That's where you go through that little town where I could pull over, and if I wanted to stop and film the trains go rolling through. I don't think we're going to have that kind of time today. Haven't done that in a while. We'll see when we get there. I ain't making no promises.
Last night, performance trains conference now extends to an examination of Obama-era security measures and White House procedures. Investigators, led by Special Counsel Robert Hur, have interviewed numerous witnesses, including Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, over the course of 9 months. They've questioned a wide range of former aides, from high-level advisors to executive assistants, and even one White House attorney. Sources present during interviews suggest instances of carelessness during Biden's vice presidency have been uncovered.